Oh, hey, hey, I gotta hop out of I gotta hop out of Hangouts. Bye. See you guys. Hey guys, can everybody hear me okay? Hello, hello. Um, hey, if you guys could just ta type in the chat box a second, if you guys can hear me, that would be great. I'm also I gotta put on a little bit of background music, otherwise my headphones turn off. Let's see. What's a good playlist here for reading? Epic fantasy. Ooh, Final Fantasy X. Yes. All right. Hey, what's up, man? Overlaps. See who all is hanging out here. I'm not gonna quite start yet. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was hearing me. We'll try to start right on the dot. I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Cool. So it's pretty neat. I'll go ahead and start kind of showing off some things. I'll just start working here as everybody's trickling in and we're getting prepped for the stream. Right before time starts. So I'm just gonna play around with this. So it's pretty cool. We've got some neat tools here. By the way, for those of you guys, this is my name is Arvin. This is the Game Textures channel. We're gonna be going over World Creator, and we'll do a little bit of Substance Designer as well, and hopefully we'll have enough time to pull this into Unreal. Um, so this is really awesome. We met Stefan and Bite the Bite guys a few years ago, maybe about a year and a half ago, and that was when they were first building World Creator for Unity, which was cool right then as a integrated plugin product. But now that it's standalone, it is I mean, and even better. So we've got some stuff here. Let me show you guys. We can come back. Let's go to the base. So we can actually come in here, and this is really unique, and I love this capability. But I can start tweaking my terrain on the fly, right? Uh, using these little nodes. Um, if this isn't giving me enough control, and I'll go over this a little later, but I can come down here to where I have this uh, fractal noise level, right, per step. And if I just turn this one all the way down, so notice I have 10 different steps here, and this is one of the most awesome parts of World Creator, something that really differentiates it from other terrain generators is I'm running a GTX 980. That's a good question. It runs pretty well on a lot of stuff. But I'm running a GTX 980, so it's not. I mean, it's good, but it's not anything, ridiculous. Um, so I'll drop down this step one, right? And notice now I have a ton more controls here, so I can, tweak this, bring this up, bring this up, bring this up, bring this down, balance this stuff out a little bit more. No, not a 10 series. It's just a 9 series. It's just a 980. So it is. I mean, it's not like a TI or anything, but it is a 980. So it's the highest for the 9 series, but nothing crazy, right? So look at that. That's pretty cool, right? I have so much control now over how I really have my terrain layout, right? Like every little node here can let me raise or lower or even out my terrain. I mean, just really, really cool. Yeah, so this is, well, I mean, not game runtime, but yeah, at design runtime, yeah. You know. So I mean, it's a really neat feature of it, right? So there, I mean, I have like just a lot of control over how my terrain lays out, right? And if I come in and I realize I still don't have exactly, right? And I'm not as far as being able to just pick and drag. And I'm also not just having to sculpt or paint it, right? I can actually just grab these nodes. There should be some more features coming. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say, but this should be even better in the um, upcoming releases. So I don't know. Is Stefan, are you here yet, man? Are you uh are you in chat? Maybe not. If by the way, I notice I'm looking here at participants and I'm only getting I think four of you guys listed. If you guys are actually oh hey Stefan, what's up man? Make sure if you guys are watching, try to log in. We're gonna be doing some giveaways, some discount code giveaways and everything, and there's no way for us to give you a giveaway if you're not registered or logged into live chat. So I'll probably mention that a couple of times. But yeah, please log into a Gmail account. If you don't have one, go build a Gmail account because we are gonna have some really really cool giveaways. So um, yeah, please log in. Why not show integration with UE4 and Germany? Or and Unity. Sorry, I saw Germany right in the next line. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to get how to rebuild it in UE4, right? Um, Stefan, if there's any sort of features as I'm going through that you want to go ahead and some plan features as I'm going through things. If I mention something that you don't mind announcing to everybody, please feel free to just type it in the chat box. I'm really excited about a lot of the stuff you guys are adding, so I may bring it up, but I won't mention anything that you guys haven't announced yet. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm happy to see that everybody's here. Let me turn down my music a little bit. As you can see here, I'm running out of RAM. um, in fact, let me quit a couple of random applications here. It'll probably help. Um, and let me close a couple tabs. All right, there we go. All right, so um, all right, cool. Sorry, I'm watching the delayed what do you call it? Uh, uh, update here on the live stream. Yes, Unity would be supported well as well. In fact, this is actually something that is there is a plugin that's native for Unity. But yeah, you could go in, you could import height maps and recreate it in Unity. Um, that being said, there are some cool planned features as far as getting it to work with Unreal and Unity. So I don't know if it's dropping in quality. Not sure. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a new project, right? So I'll hit new project. I'm gonna hit no. By the way, there's a really cool loading screen now. I'm I really dig it. Uh, here's our little link, by the way, so you can grab game textures and it'll launch a link to the game textures library. Just a little shout out for us. We really appreciate it, Stefan. Hey, Corodius, what's up, man? All right, gonna go ahead and create a new one. And I'm just gonna save this randomly. We'll just call this demo, right? Oh, demo. Oh, thank you. We love hearing that, Kenny. Kenny. All right. Um, so here's the terrain. It's gonna be a little slow initially on startup. Don't let that get you down, right? It just takes a minute to kind of set in, but as soon as it sets in, it's good to go. So let's start by um, kind of tweaking our um, shapes here, right? So, and let me go over the UI really quick a little bit. So here we've got, a surface tab, which allows us to adjust our base shapes. And then it also allows us to switch over to this tab and build up filter, right? By the way, for those of you guys that don't know, I mean, I thought this was the coolest thing. Stefan and I talk about it all the time. This is a built on the Unity platform. So this is a Unity application, which is, I mean, I think it's incredible. So if you notice some of the controls here, uh, look very similar to the way it you would in a in the Unity editor. So it keeps. Oh, sure, I could switch themes. Um, but yeah, this is um, it's built in Unity, so that's a really cool thing. We've got the textures tab, which we're gonna go over very soon. Scene, this is basically describing. We can go ahead and do this. So this is describing the surroundings. So we can add objects and details, which I'll go over a little bit. I'm not the most familiar with them, but here, this one I typically use. So we can add an ocean plane, right? And we can adjust the balance of the ocean to be higher or lower, right? We'll add that a little bit later, but we can also enable fog, right? And we can adjust density. Now, this is all just for viewing and rendering purpose. Um, the fog won't actually, as far as I know, export or anything, but it is cool for, kind of inspiration as you're working. The one I will turn on is sky. I want to turn on realistic mode for sky. It just kind of helps me for um, building it and um, getting it all in. Areas, we'll go over this in a little bit. And then lastly, options, right? So here we can adjust some graphic stuff. We have some post effects. We have vignetting, some depth of field. We have some methods for blending our textures. We do want it height blended. I'll go ahead and turn that on. And I'll show you guys how that works later. And we're also able to here change the speed of our camera so we can make it faster or slower, and look in sensitivity, etc. As far as what was mentioned a little bit earlier, um, in regard to the skin, we can switch it, right? So let's switch it to the, you know, orange, as was suggested, very close to the game textures orange, which is cool. Um, Oh, Kenny, we actually have a bunch of new foliage in the store right now, and some more coming to the store soon. Yes, giveaways. We will be doing giveaways. We're gonna do some that are quiz based. We're gonna do some that are just random. If you are not logged in, again, I encourage you be logged in. We can't give anything to you if you're not logged into YouTube, Google, whatever this thing takes. All right, so let's go ahead with that. Let's go ahead and get started. Um, we are able to adjust the precision. So here in the precision, we can ramp this up, right? We can go to 4K, we can go all the way up to 8K, and we can go everything even higher resolution than this. But if we go any higher, it real time stops. So it actually has to calculate and compute. So um, we're gonna keep it for right now. We'll just keep it at 2K. It'll make everything a little bit easier to start off with, and then we'll ramp up as um, as we go along. All right. Let's see. This is a really cool one. This is how um, we control the shape of our terrain. And this is really cool. This is one of the things when I first started messing with the standalone that I really, really loved. Uh, is this custom base shape. So if I click this, right, and I click edit shape, it gives me these little nodes. And with these little nodes, I can start clicking and adjusting, right? And you notice I have this real-time control over the shape of my terrain. Right? So here, even without, and there is a path tool, but even without a path tool, I can start to create a little path that goes through, right? Yeah, Stefan and the Byte guys are awesome. They're incredible. All right, so here we go. All right, so there we've got an initial setup for it. Now here's the cool thing. If we're not getting enough resolution, if we look at this and we're like, hey, I really want another spot here to be lower, what we can do is go all the way down here to fractal noise level strength per step. And this is one of the other features that makes World Creator just so unique among other terrain generators is we're able to adjust things on a uh, um, in levels, right? So, for example, let me show you this first. If we want the overall large shapes to move around, we can increase step one, right? And this one actually is, there's not a lot of big shapes, I suppose. But here we can adjust step two, and there, see, it's pushing those level two shapes, right? If we want even smaller shapes to push through, we can adjust step three, and notice it's a completely different step. Or we can push step four, and we're getting higher and higher in the frequency of the shapes we're tweaking, right? So, oh, there we go. I guess we're tossing out some code, so make sure you guys are logged in. All right. So here what I'm going to do is completely knock back this level strength step one and watch what happens to the amount of nodes. So now I have twice as many nodes to generate controls. So it's almost like we have it set up like a subdivision levels, right? And this is awesome. So yeah, it's really good. I'm not gonna knock World Machine. World Machine has its, I like the software as well, but I mean this I like this so much better. Um, So now we can come in and, tweak a lot more of these and have a lot more control over the shapes. This is also really good to kind of take note if you're, generating terrain for game, right? Being at this level, right? it's unless you're generating just a small piece of terrain, it's really too large. You really should be working at around this level if you're working on like a 2K terrain in Unreal. Um, so here we're getting a lot more fine details in the shape. So here we can really start to build out some paths, some stepping, right? Some ranges. We can even, let's go ahead and turn on water. I'm going to hop over to scene and I'm going to turn on ocean, right? And I'm just going to raise that ocean plane. And so this way we can actually start to tweak uh, where we sit along the water plane as well. All right, so here we go. Let's raise it to about right there, right? And so now you can start to push that down, create a little bay right here. Maybe some shallow water right there. Right? And so even with just this, look at how much control we have over shaping this terrain without necessarily, sculpting it or adding any sort of nodes. All right, it'll be recorded, so don't stress out too much about it. All right. Um, cool. All right. So let's say this is where we started, right? All right. Let's go ahead and uh, by the way, we're gonna do some giveaways that are quiz based too. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the stream. So let's go ahead and hop back over to surface and let's hop over to filter, right? And let's start to add some filters on this to tweak it. So let's go ahead and add a layer. And what you'll see here is when we hit add, we'll get a couple of different controls that we can start to add to it, right? Um, I'll start off with the ones I really like. So I really like ridged. So let's go ahead and add ridged. And notice it creates a really cool effect here, right? Nice kind of like mountainous. We can tweak it to strengthen it or soften it. And we can also again adjust it by in levels, right? So if we want to tweak it to where we're not getting as much of this level 8 strength, we can tone this down. Maybe we don't want as many fine details. There we go. Good tweak. And then let's go ahead and add a new layer. So I'm going to go and maybe add, I also really like this rocky plateau. So what this does is it flattens some stuff out. In fact, before we do that, what I usually do if uh, if I'm not using, if I'm generating mostly kind of flatter areas, what I'll add first is a nice flatten over the whole thing. So notice that really buried it, but we could just adjust it to not be at 100%, right? And it just kind of levels out the whole plane. So instead of being quite so, uh, having so many peaks, we can kind of squash it just a little bit. Let's go over to areas again. Uh, I'm going to hide the ocean right now for just a little bit, just to get a better feel for what this is looking like. All right, let's go hop over again. What's create? Can you create multiple terrain tiles? Use them for DEMs. Well, Multiple terrain tiles, like basically other sections right here, almost like a UDIM going through this way. Uh, that you can, but Stefan, you may need to help me out a little bit there. I know you showed me how to do it, but I don't quite remember. There you go. All right, so let's go over to surface again. Let's add this time a again that plateaus. And I'm going to select this flatten. And I don't like it being all the way here. I'm going to scoot it first. So I want it to flatten first, and then I want it to ridge. Go. And then the plateaus, right? So we can tweak, go some nice larger shapes. There we go. Cool. All right. So now let's go ahead and maybe let's generate uh, some things that are a little more specific, right? So or a little more focused. So let's increase these. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back over to base and I'm going to tweak some of my shapes. So you notice there's like these little potholes here. I'm not really a big fan of the huge potholes there. So I'm just going to kind of level stuff out a little bit. There we go. All right. And then the next thing we're going to do is kind of create an area down here that'll serve as a beach, right? But we don't want it. In fact, let's raise some of this. Right? So what we're doing here is kind of creating some almost like mountainous style areas, some areas that are a little bit higher, right? Some definite leveling. But the lower sections, I want to create something where it kind of polishes them and kind of can you override filter values in some places? Let's take for example, like to okay, there you go. I don't know if that answered it. Substances into world creator. Sorry, so many stuff. Export textures attached. You can export out a color map, but not the micro textures. I'll show you guys how to work with those. The most desired thing, substances into world creator. That is a Stefan question. Add more nodes, for example, a small river. Yes, you can make a small river. I'll go into that in just a little bit. Um, but for right now, let's go ahead. We'll polish this and create kind of like a beach. And I'll get to show you guys one of the features of filters. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to add one more. And this time I'm going to add canyon. And I'm going to add this canyon sand covered, right? So notice if you look at it, it's real polished. So now if we do it, uh, it polishes stuff down, but it does it all our over the entire terrain, and I don't want that. I want it just in the lower aspects of it. So what I'm going to do is select height range, and right here where it says 500, this is going to be the maximum. So I'm just going to I didn't know OBJ exporter exists. That's awesome. Man, that's news to me. I'll start pulling this down and notice it's kind of blending through and we're getting that canyon effect just on the lower parts of the terrain. And let's go ahead and kind of weaken it a little bit. That way it's not quite so far apart, right? So this creates a nice little beach down here for us on the lower aspects of it. And let's adjust this height smoothness. So there we go. We're kind of transitioning it into the rest of the terrain. So that's nice. So now we've got this large, um, these large shapes up here, and here it is kind of smoother. Um, as far as redeeming the code, you just go to the World Creator website, and you can redeem the code there. Cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's add the water back in. Let's take a look at it with water. There we go. All right, so now I can see that, kind of where the, you know, the water is coming up and where the beach is. So I wanna actually lower this water a little bit, right, and give us a little bit more actual beach. And I'm gonna go ahead and increase a little bit the reach of my. There we go. There we go. So now we're carving out a better beach. Right? And let's go ahead and go back to the base. And this is what's awesome, right? It's completely non-linear. I can go back in and edit these shapes, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this needs to go down. It'll give me a better beach right there. It's actually cool. I like this little island kind of jutting out. The little peninsula, that's kind of cool, right? And notice, so here, since we have a rule for that canyonizing, as they lift it up, it's gonna stop to canyonize, and the beach will go away, and it'll be more, like a canyon. So I can tweak it as I go along. You may have covered this before, but looking at the side view of the landscape looks as though you can actually layer the composition of the ground. Sorry, I'm not quite following, Cheryl. If you kind of re-explain it, are you talking about the right here, this thing, the soil? Is that what you're referring to? Cool. Right. So here we've got like almost like a little lagoon, which is kind of neat, right? And then we can go back into filters and readjust this beach again. Right? So let's maybe come in here and in a little bit more. Cool. All right, let's see what else can we do. Let's increase some of these back here. Right, we'll ridge it a little bit more. All right, so here's another cool thing. Right now, right, I showed you guys how to adjust the height level of it, but we can also adjust not just the height level, but we can also adjust the slope level. So here, let's say we just want to canyonize, or sorry, ridge a certain slope level. We can actually drag this over, and notice it'll keep some areas, except for steeper areas, flat. So this may not be the best thing to do it to. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep that at full. A one that's really good to do it to is flatten. So let's add a flatten at the end. Right? Can you bake? Yes, you can bake and export normal map details. Um, we won't be doing it that way, and I'll show you guys because we're actually going to use Substance Designer for colorizing it. Although we can have some colorizing here, um, there's a couple of things that we can do in Substance Designer that I just want to show off. There's a lot of good colorizing tools here though in World Creator as well. So last thing we'll do here is maybe add some I don't know. Go ahead and add before we add erosion. I'm gonna add some terracing, maybe just a little bit. Let's take a look at that effect. Let's just drag it out. Go. And maybe um, after that, let's go ahead and add our erosion, and we'll add this erosion fluvial. So we'll go ahead and strengthen it so we can really see the effect. There we go. You'll see how it's kind of eating in. And again, maybe we want to limit this erosion effect to certain angles. And to a certain height level. You know what? Let's try a different erosion technique. This is the one I usually use, but let's just try one, something different. Let's try maybe erosion deep. Yeah, that would be kind of neat to be able to go Z this, honestly. The results here. One more time for erosion. I actually like that one better in general. There you go. Maybe I was just missing it the first time as far as how it was looking. It's pretty cool. All right, cool. So, what is sculpt? Is it like brushes to push and down, up and down the terrain? No. Actually, that's a good chance for a giveaway, right? So maybe we'll do a coupon code for. Let's do a coupon code for whoever can answer what tool we use to adjust the terrain. Just right there in the chat box. Just type in the answer in the chat box. What tool do we use to adjust the height of the terrain? What is it called? Not the filter. Yes, nodes. That's correct. It's right here. So again, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. You go here to custom base shape, hit edit shape. Pixel Samurai gets a code, right? And so here are the little nodes that we can actually drag and drop, uh, adjust around, shift around. Right? And so yes, we can actually paint them. There's a way to do that, and I'll show you guys a little bit later how to do it. But for large shapes, I actually really prefer to use these nodes. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and hop back over to filters. Now, somebody was asking, can we do roads and stuff? The answer is yes, we can do roads and paths. So let's go ahead and I don't want to mess with it on this layer. Let's go ahead and I'm going to create, so we'll call this base, right? So this is kind of the base of our landscape. We'll go ahead and create another layer, and this will be shapes and path, right? So what this will do is it'll allow us to add certain shapes or paths in our mesh. And we don't have to do it. We could have just kept it here on the base, but I like to kind of isolate them, right? So let's go ahead and we'll go over to design, and let's go over to path first. And what we're able to do, let's go ahead and come down here, and we'll say add path, right? And we'll hit edit path, and we can just control click, or sorry, shift click, and we add little nodes that'll carve out a path for us, right? So let's go ahead. Oh, uh, let's go ahead and come up here, right? And we'll hit done. Oh, come on now. See if the height offset. This should work. Stefan, am I doing something wrong here? You should be able to just it should just start notching into the should just start digging into the mesh. This is actually just a very recent update, so I don't know if it has issues, but maybe I'm just doing something wrong here, or maybe my order is wrong. Let me see. Let's move this up to the top. There we go. Yep, I was just my order was wrong. Um, right, so we'll go ahead and start uh, pulling this down. No, no, it's I think it's good. Yeah, I was just I had my layers in the wrong order. So there we go. We've got a nice little path that we've pushed into this mesh right there, right? All right, so now let's go ahead and pull this out a little bit, right? And maybe let's go ahead, we can adjust the width. So notice that, right? At runtime, we can adjust the noise. So it gives us a little bit more of a natural path there. We can also, we can make it closed, make it go all the way around. We can adjust how many steps there are, so it just kind of makes it a little more smooth if you adjust it. Um, and then we can adjust the entire height offset. See how much this is gonna dig in. Um, let's see what else. There's another one here that I usually turn on surface noise as well. If I'm gonna make kind of like a more rugged path, I'll come up here and I'll add a little bit of noise here, so it's not quite so like man-made. So let's go ahead and we'll hit done here. Done edit path. And there we go. We've got a carved out path. Now we can come in here and again adjust some of these to make it, heavier or softer as needed. Go ahead and hit edit path again. Maybe we'll adjust this a little bit and lift it up. There we go. So there's a better um, movement right there. There's also something, create multiple where a delta spread is. Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. Thanks, Stefan. I didn't know about that one yet. um, no, but here you could actually, like, so when we actually get this into Unreal or whatever, the path here, we'd probably end up sticking in some rocks as steps, right? That would be the logical thing to do there. All right, cool. So we can also carve in uh, like some type of river if we wanted to. So let's go ahead and we'll add another path, right? Hit edit path. Oh, sorry. Hit edit path on this one, right? And we can, cut a river, let's say just through this. Right? So we've got a um, right. So cool thing here is we also have some just transform controls here, where we can just drag them straight up or down. So now we've carved out like a little river that runs in between these two these two shapes, and we could come in and maybe widen that river and soften the blend a little bit, right? And then to kind of help ourselves out too, we could go back to the base, edit shape, and just kind of pull some of these. Oh, I broke it. Let's see. Done. Let me, there we go. Got to turn off the paths. So let's go back to the base. Let's hit edit shape. Tweak some of these to kind of help ourselves out. Just lower some of these points. All right, so let's go back and let's re-edit our river. Right, so we'll go back, filters, and let's edit path again. Oh, sorry, this one, edit path. And let's just kind of bury these a little lower. And there we go, we're able to create a better river. Right, cool. And now let's go ahead and hit done with edit path. And let's, again, just widen it a little bit. Kind of adjust the strength a little, right? So we've got some natural kind of little shallow areas. Um, and let's give it a little bit of noise. There we go. Let's increase the noise factor just to kind of chip away right there. Right, and we can adjust the noise scale. There we go. Right, so we've got a nice little river that's running through it now. We're asking with from George, is there a specific node to manager filter to manager the side of the canyon based on the slope? Is there a specific node? Sorry, I'm not quite getting that. A specific, is there a specific node to manage the side of the canyon based on the slope. I mean, each little node here has a slope control. So like for example, each node you could actually adjust it to affect stuff based on slope. I don't know if that's the question, but please post it again if I'm missing it. Right. Yeah, the workflow is really awesome. Workflow is very awesome. The other thing we can do here, so for shapes and path, is we can also add a shape. So we can come in, right, and let's say add shape, and it automatically adds one by default, and I guess it's under the C. So let's switch it um, to be so here it's carving in right now, right? So here it's kind of neat, yeah, right? We can create kind of a nice little recession actually for our river, and we can adjust the shape here, right? And we can also adjust the smoothness to kind of smooth out. And we can add some more things in order to make that shape larger or smaller. And again, we have some of those similar controls where we can um, add some surface noise, kind of give it some variety, and then we'll say done. All right, let me take a quick drink here, and can we do a couple of giveaways? Let's do a question, right? So, quick question for those that have been here for a while. We covered this at the very beginning. Um, what is the name of the company that creates this software? Just type it into your chat box. What is the name of the company that creates this software? Byte the bytes. We're missing an E there, but I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? Let's give it to both of them. Let's give it to both Aiden and Mitsu. And let's give it to Peter because no, not Peter. We're missing one. All right. Oh, and there we go. There's actually the perfect one, Alan. So let's give one to Aiden Yannick, Mitsu Mitan, and let's give one to Alan S because he actually has the perfect name of it. First anyway, before Nobby. Sorry, man. Maybe all right. Um let's see. Let's do another one. Another one for a quick giveaway while I'm getting a sip here. What is, get ready, what is the technology that World Creator is built on? What software is World Creator built on? Unity. All right, give it to Steven. Steven Langston. Good job. Magic. Give Kenny one for magic. I like that one. Geo control. That's really good. Yeah, this actually it used to be geo control. That's initially what this is used in. World machine. No, you don't get one for that one. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get back to building this terrain. Um, Man, what else can we add here? Oh, cool. Yep. Hook somebody else up. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I like that one though. Magic. Um, let's see. What other things can we add? We do have one more here. Let's add actually one more layer, right? So I typically, in fact, usually I don't put my erosions here, right? So I'm gonna remove this real quick. I'm gonna add one more layer. And usually what I do, and let me save this before this crashes on me and I'm not able to open it. Um, so let's go ahead and add another layer. And I'm going to take this layer and move it up to the top again. And this one is going to be my weathering. So I typically add this at the very top, right? And for weathering, I'll add, they have a new one here called wind, which is pretty cool. Notice it'll just kind of flatten your terrain out if you're not too careful with it. But as we dial it back, it just creates this nice kind of flattening too much of that out. So what we're going to do is, yeah, let's create wind, but let's give it a height range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it just to the higher areas, right? And I'm going to tone it down here by the specific steps. And then I'm going to, it's funny, it's adding, figure it would add. Huh. Right, that's not getting quite the results I'm looking for here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the wind, but just know it's there, and it's actually pretty cool. It's very useful in certain areas, but it's not doing uh, what I'm expecting it to right there. So this is where we'll add the erosion. We'll tone it down a little bit. What? And I think it just feels a little strange here, like it's changing my shapes. It's changing my shapes too much. I'm losing too much of the shapes right here. So I'm gonna so it doesn't mess too much with things. I'm just gonna delete this layer. Although I do like to typically put it there. Um, I'll just add it on. I'll re-add it on my base. And let's get to some texturing. Right? Get to finally show off some GT stuff and some of the new things we've been working on. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and add now some game texture textures. So we'll hop over to textures and we'll add a texture layer, right? And we'll do some texturing in Substance Designer also. I'll show you guys how to do that. But let's just get kind of a good base for what we want to create here. So I'm gonna add some. I'll start off with this short grass, right? And so what you'll see is it drops it on here as a tileable, right? It loads up all the maps as needed, right? And I'm just gonna increase the size here. There we go. Little bit. So let's just say let's get an exact number so we can type it at for all the textures we have. So we'll set it at 12. And notice there's some obviously you're gonna see some tiling patterns, but we'll figure out how to we'll break that up a little bit as we go along, right? And then let's go ahead and add a cliff. So let's come down here and I like let's grab this one. Uh, dark crack. All right. And notice so it is a little too tiny here. So let's go ahead, and I think it's going to need to be bigger than 10. So I'm just going to go ahead and type a number here. I'll type something like maybe 100, right? And I know that seems really large, but we're getting it kind of projected here on these areas, and we definitely want it to be bigger. So we could maybe shrink it a hair, but we do want it to be fairly big. And then let's go ahead and scroll down and let's adjust the slope range so that it's only going on the slopes. right? Go. Maybe shrink it down still a hair more. Get a little bit more micro detail here. There we go. All right, cool. And it's looking a little bright to me and a little too shiny. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna knock down brightness a hair, and I'm gonna turn uh, smoothness up. Right, so now we've got scattering there. Now this is a little too harsh if you look at this. So I'm gonna go over to options, graphics, and over here where we have height-based texturing properties, I'm gonna increase the smooth height values. So notice right there, we're getting a little bit of blending that's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna reduce the grass too. I noticed that. We may not have a, I don't know, something with the roughness values there. Maybe we hadn't transferred over. So let's go ahead and tone down this. Yeah, that's better. Cool. All right. So now let's break up some of this the tiling. Right? So what we're gonna do is blend some dirt in here with the grass. So, and I think this one I still need to micro it a little bit more. And this one, I think I do want to make it just a hair bigger. Yeah, better. All right, so let's go ahead and blend this grass with some dirt, maybe. So let's add another layer. Let's add let's say this there's some stuff here with see it. Let's blend it with this grass then. This one has a little bit more dirt on it. Right? So we'll go down here and we'll select surface noise. Right? So basically what's happening is the two different grasses are blending. Um, let's slightly adjust the brightness. Notice this is a little bit brighter than that one. So we'll just kind of tone it down a little bit. Maybe bring this up a little bit. Just to kind of help match. Right? And again, let's tone down the gloss here. And let's go ahead and you see how it's kind of creeping up into this area. Let's go ahead and clamp it by uh, going up to sorry, slope range and just keeping it off the 90-degree angles. And we'll do the same for this one. Maybe it's the blur. Yeah, it's definitely this layer. It's definitely this layer. So I'm just gonna I'm not quite sure why it's creeping in that one. Maybe oh, I bet maybe we need to tone down a little bit our smoothing, height smoothing. There we go. There we go. So now it's not quite showing up there so much. All right, cool. So there we've got a couple of different patches, right? And then we'll do the same here for our cliffs. So let's go back to textures. some of that isn't quite matching again. Let's clean that up a little bit. This is too. Yeah, it's a little closer. All right, and then let's go ahead and get some blending here in the cliffs. So let's add a blend, and let's add, maybe this one. Again, we'll clamp it on angles. Oh, sorry, this way. And then let's increase the size. And then we'll just create some surface noise. And again, let's tone down. And I don't know, again, here's some of that grass that's creeping in. Right, so there we go. So now we've got it a little bit more blended. All right, last thing we want to do is let's add a little bit of sand here in the curvature areas, right? For where sand may have settled or dirt may have settled. And let's add a dirt layer down here as well. So let's add let's click add. Oh, and let's add a sand layer as well. So let's add some sand first. So let's grab this ground rocky desert, right? Oh no. All right. We're running out of memory here. Let me see if there's something else I can shut down. All right. So this sand, we just want it to be on the lower areas of it. So let's go ahead and do a bit over one. Oh no, that's good. Let's just go ahead and do a height range. Scale it down. And let's just get it here in the basically beachy areas. And let's go ahead and turn down the smoothness. We don't want height noise. Let's just do height smoothness a little bit. So here we're kind of blending it, creeping into the grass. And let's turn down the brightness a little bit. And let's increase the scale. And I think oh, I know what. I was wondering. I pulled smoothness the wrong way. There we go. Cool. All right, and then yeah, let's get some maybe a little bit of dirt to blend in here. And then also some dirt to settle in to the little crevices. So I'm gonna add one more layer here. And In fact, I'm gonna add it here after the grass. So add a dirt. Oh, I like that one better for the sand. I think I'm gonna replace the sand with that. So let's add maybe this one. Ah, no. I finally got it to crash. I don't think I can add any more layers actually. It's not by any stretch of the imagination the world creator's fault. I'm just really low on RAM. I haven't updated in a few years my machine. So see, real cool signs here. All right, and hopefully we're able to load here again. Before on the last version, it had a couple of times it had a tough time loading on the last version. Yeah, this looks different, but we can work with it. So I'll show you guys actually. We'll work with this, and I will show you guys how to take it into uh, Substance and tweak it in there. So, and this isn't, I mean, notice the cool thing is even though it broke, this is still a really cool looking terrain actually, and the sand on it looks really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just fix a little bit of stuff, and then we'll ship it out to Substance so I can show you guys how to work a little bit in there. So let's go back. Let's edit some of these shapes. Right? Let's just give it some stuff. Let's give it some a little bit of layering here, some leveling. Maybe lift this up a little bit more. Right, that's a neat little peninsula actually. So I'll keep that. I like that. I like the shape. It's interesting. So let's go ahead and we'll go with this. And let's get this into Substance Designer. Let's just create a couple of layers here though. I just want maybe a couple more little layers. Up. All right, cool. So yeah, there we go. Some nice, interesting shapes there. All right, and let's. All right, so we're gonna be taking a sample maybe from here. So we can export out. I know one of the questions is, hey, can how many maps can you export out or whatever else? You can export out a ton of maps directly here. So I mean, we can actually go into textures and we can export this out. So we can just go and hit um, where is it? It's not save heat map, it's export. right? And we can export out a splat map, which will basically give us all of the different layers here, which is awesome. Or we can export out a color map, which will actually export out the literal color map. So there's some workflows here um, that are, I mean, really awesome. Let's go ahead and just export them out, just for the sake of seeing them. We'll just call this world creator, and we'll just say maps, right? And we'll export out the splat map and maybe, you know, and there's a flipping mechanism. Stefan, which one do you flip? I actually wasn't able to guess it correctly. If it was like if it was like X or flip along the Y when you export out the height map. But yeah, from here we can export out the terrain normals, right? I don't know if it's like flip Y maybe. Let's see. Sure. But let's go ahead and export out the elevation data, right? And we'll do it as PNG 16-bit. And let's see what that actually looks like. Hey, we're actually I realized we are at the hour mark. So how about we do a giveaway? How about we give away a full license? Anybody here interested in one of those? All right, so let's go ahead and get one out. Sorry, my chat broke, Stefan. Um, all right, so I guess we're giving out a full license. I'll show you in a minute, Stefan, what my question is. There was a an issue I had. I don't know if it was a bug or something, but my normal maps and my height map were coming out different from each other. One was flipped or something. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and give out one of the licenses. Let's just do a random pick. So I think they're gonna take everybody that's signed in, and that's why I told you guys make sure you're signed in. And they're gonna randomly choose somebody here. Yeah, sign into YouTube. While we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and I'm going to load up that demo file, the demo maps that we exported. All right, so let me pull those up. All right, so what do we have here? World creator, and here are the maps. Yeah, here's what I was referring to, Stefan. Let me show you. Um, so here's the normal map, right? So it's matching the color map, but the height map is what flipped on the x-axis, I think. Or yeah, it's flipped on the x-axis. Houdini's awesome. Aiden's mentioning Houdini. I love Houdini, but for terrain generation, I prefer this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop open Designer. Did we pick one yet? All right, so here's oh cool, who got it? Sweet. All right, so let's go ahead. We're giving out two more licenses. So stay here, stay involved. You know, yeah, the stream is going to be available. The stream is going to be recorded. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these maps and we're going to go ahead. Yeah, thank you, Stefan. Yeah, it was I mean we could just flip it, but it was just coming in inverted. We're going to go ahead and texture it in Designer, and then finally we'll bring it into UE4 and get all of our all game texture stuff in there that will make it good both up close and at a distance, right? So let's go ahead and we'll open a new substance, and we're going to call this you know world creator demo. And like I said, you can absolutely texture it with our stuff directly in World Creator, and it produces some cool maps. Um, but this is just a slightly different approach, right? So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and let's pull this in um, to Substance. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and open it, and I'm just going to flip it. That way it's actually correct. I think I can flip it. Flip vertical. There we go. Yep, that's correct. File, save. Oh, all right. And let's go ahead and let's drag and drop it here, and we'll link. All right. So let's go ahead and here on, if I don't know if I'll have the time to go into Unity. If I can, I will. Um, let's go ahead and we'll make this grayscale. And we're going to go ahead and use this plane to see our terrain here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a color map. Sorry, uniform color. Right, this will be nice. Just for right now, just nice even gray for base color. Let's duplicate it. Um, we'll make this a grayscale image, and we'll just push it at full white. That means we'll get it completely not rough. And then for our metallic, we're going to make it completely non-metallic, right? And we're not going to mess with these values, so I'm just going to crash them into Substance. This one will be our height, right? And you'll notice you see the terrain displacing, but none of the actual shapes. That's because we need a normal. So we'll go ahead and create a normal Sobel, plug this in, plug this into normal. Although we could just, I mean, we can literally just get the generated one as well, and that works out fine, right? So there we go. So here's what our terrain currently looks like. Here's what we've, in a lot of ways, generated. We could kind of adjust how strong it's coming up. So we can add a histogram range right here just for our display convenience, right? We can just kind of adjust it a little bit so we get more or less variations. All right, and now let's go ahead and that over. All right, and let's grab this. And let's start to what we're primarily concerned is the color. Because what we're going to do is inside of Unreal, the idea is that when you're this close, right, what you'll see is game textures, right? But as you look further away, what you're going to see is this normal map and this color map, right? So at close up, what you'll see is a high resolution textures. But then far away, what you'll see is a nice macro map, so you don't get that tileable look. Can you import geo and model terrain around it? Just dropped in. I'm not sure. I know you can do it with a height map, so you could bake out a height map and you can pull it in. Um, so let's go ahead and start adding some colors. So let's just say we go with that same look we had, and that's one major thing that I like to do, definitely in World Creator, for example. Let's say here, right? Is this, notice there's, kind of the tiling textures and the color, right? What we're able to do is really quickly experiment with what the surface looks like. So, and we can see kind of what we wanted to texture it in Designer with if we choose to do that. So let's go ahead and what we'll do is let's start off with something like this. So what I'll do is create, I'm going to sample this color, right? And I want it a little bit darker, a little bit darker. And then we'll get the cliff colors too. So we'll do a blend. And then we'll duplicate this. And let's actually set this to 2K, get everything to update. And this one, I don't want it quite that dark. So let's go ahead and desaturate this a little bit and darken it a little bit, but we'll keep it a little brown. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll create a mask. So we'll do an RGBA split. All right, and basically here the blue channel, notice, is basically everything that is a cliff. So we'll run this through a histogram scan, plug it in, and let's just start scanning. And then let's invert this because what we actually want are the cliffs. You can increase the contrast. And let's flip these. Right, okay, so now here we go. We're starting to grab the right section. There we go. And let's plug that in, right? All right, so here's kind of our initial map. Increase the contrast, scan. Cool. Next thing we want to do is maybe vary this sand, right? So right now, the sand is really just a solid color, but we don't want it to just be a solid color. We want to give it a little bit of variety so that when we're standing in a distance, we see a little bit of speckles. So what we'll do is create a B&W spots node. And then run that through a gradient map. And then let's go ahead and select a color. So grab this. Let's just pick this color, delete that, and create a second one. All right. And then let's just give a little bit of variation. So let's maybe here in the middle at position 50. Let's maybe darken it. And maybe here, let's slightly lighten it. Again here, slightly lighten it. And that's good, right? So now plug that in. Right, so now we've got just a little bit of variance in those colors. In fact, they still may be a little far. So let's just close that gap just a little bit. All we want is a little bit of a speckle of difference. All right, let's do the same thing here now for the gray, but I don't know, we don't really want a whole lot of variation here again. So let's grab maybe we can actually do is grab all of these, right? And we can just desaturate the whole thing a little bit and darken it a little bit. There we go. Nice. All right. And so now we want this to slightly creep into these crevices, right? So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and generate a curvature. We'll do a curvature Sobel. And this is a this is should be well, maybe this is coming in as OpenGL. Let's go ahead and do we'll invert this. So let's do a normal invert. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Better. All right, so now we'll do a invert. So what we're trying to get are these little crevices right here, and we don't want them here on the ground. We just want them right here in between in between the cliffs. It's almost like little um, mud slides or something. Not mud slides, but dirt slides essentially. So grab that, and then we'll do a histogram scan again. And then we'll do a position scan. Right, so there we go. Now we've gotten those little crevices. And what we're going to do is just blend it here. And we're just going to subtract this from it. Let's do a subtract. And notice what happens is where it's blending, it's not blending there in the crevices, right? It's still getting that the color of the sand. All right, so let's see again. Nice. Let's creep a little bit more in. And let's increase the contrast a little bit. Just get a finer. And there's a lot more things we can do here. Um, as far as what we could do, like for example, we could do a height blend to where it's um it's gathering more at the bottom than on the top or something like that. Uh, but I just don't want to run out of time, so let's scale this back. Yeah, we could try it. Let's try that. So let's do a histogram scan. Sorry, I can't resist it. All right, so here, right, and now we'll push that there. And then what we'll just do is we'll put this at full, and then we'll do another blend, and then we'll just subtract this, right? Right. So what's happening is, notice there's a lot more of it down at the bottom. Oh, no, there's a lot more at the top. That's wrong. We're going to do add. There we go. Sorry, my mic went out. I have to keep listening to something in order for my mic to keep going. All right. So there we go. Now we're blending this in. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. Oh, we need to invert it. That's what it is. There you go. So now we're creeping in a little bit from the bottom to where it's blending in. All right. So sweet. Let's go ahead and maybe do a height blend to where maybe here on the higher areas, we get something that's kind of grassy. So I'm just going to duplicate this, right? And I'm going to select the same stops, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift them in hue. I'm going to select the same stops. Just thought maybe that would work. And shift their hue, right, to get a little closer to green. There we go. And then I'll blend this right here. So notice now we're green, right? But the green's creeping in. We're going to add a little bit of contrast. And let's go ahead and let's select these. And let's just increase their saturation. So it's a more distinct green. And maybe tone down the value just a hair. All right, there we go. So now we've got a couple of variations there. Um, and then let's give it a few browner stops, right? So what this does is it gives us a little bit of sections here that are representative of dirt. Right? So we've got some areas here that are a little, more dirt-like than grassy. Maybe let's grab maybe some of these stops. Let's drag them brown. There we go. Okay. And maybe for the brown stop. All right, cool. It's a little mossy looking in my opinion, but we'll let it go so we can move on for right now. Right? There's some tweaking we need to do with that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with what you guys are saying in chat, but um, it looks like I'm failing. um, all right, cool. And maybe I think I have a little too many stops here now. So I'm just gonna wipe some of these stops out. I don't want that much variation. Um, maybe this one is a little too saturated. This one's a little too. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, we'll be viewing it maybe at this distance, so we just want it to look good at this distance. We want it to look natural at this distance. All right. The last thing we want to do is let's go ahead and uh, um, blend in a little bit of. Let's see if we can use a curvature smooth. That might be pretty useful. Right. So we'll reblend this. Sorry. Let's go ahead and yeah, we'll blend a curvature smooth here. And let's just stack this on top. So we'll add, right? And then we'll let's histogram scan the curvature smooth. Right? So here, what we're doing is, whereas the curvature Sobel gives us really fine ones, this gives us some large shapes for the sand to creep into. Here. Oh, can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Hello? Hello, can you guys hear me? No sound? Test, 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 test. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so there's maybe a little bit too much of this. So what I'm gonna do is just run this through a histogram scan again. I just want this to be a little more I want this to be a little more refined. To have some specific areas that are that color of the gray. There we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. A little closer anyway. We definitely want there to be some blend, but we just want to see a definite cliff. All right, cool. So obviously there's a lot more things that can happen here. Oh, hey, there's my brother. What's up, John? There's some more stuff that can happen here, but let's. Oh, hey, what's up, Paul? But let's go ahead and let's wrap this part of it up and let's get this into Unity. I mean, hopefully you guys kind of get the workflow. Oh, there is one more thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend in some of these maps. So I'm just gonna grab the I'm gonna grab curvature smooth, right, and just kind of stack it on top I'm just gonna do an add sub and just I'll tone it down real light. But notice it just gives some cool like shape to it. See that? And then I'll do the same thing with curvature Sobel. And again, we'll do add sub, tone it down. Right, so now we're getting some nice little kind of just indication of shape, right? So this is a little bit more old school. Yeah, we're getting to UE. We'll get there. We'll get there. Um, and then we'll do another an HBAO, so which is going to be the ambient occlusion. We'll plug this into the height map, right? Just to get some AO. And what happened there? Whoa. Oh, this isn't by default, even though in it is technically in 16-bit. Substance is importing it in 8, so we'll just do 16-bit per channel. There we go. We're still getting some of that weird layering on it. I'm not sure what the deal is, but we'll just what we'll do is we'll just run it through a slight blur. And this is just so we can get a little bit of ambient occlusion. Right. And then we'll blend it. And then we'll just multiply it right here. Tone it down a little bit. Right, so now there we go. We've got a little bit of a AO. We've got a little bit of some colors, definitely. Right, a little bit of curvature. Um, let's try something else here. Let's try maybe soft light. Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit better. It's just not quite so uh, like harsh. All right, cool. So next part of it is let's go ahead and yeah, we could do like specifically isolate the crevice. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could do here. So we could separate out the crevice from the convex edges. There's we could also have exported out some flow maps out of we could have exported out some flow maps from we could have exported out some flow maps from World Creator, but it probably would have been good right here. But we're just kind of here. So let's go ahead and hop into Unreal. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to Export Outputs, right? And let's go to that demo folder, and we'll call this, substance. We'll call this macro maps, right? Select folder. And we want base color, normal. We don't want roughness. We don't want metallic, and we do want height. So we'll save all. And that's it for the Substance Designer part of our lesson. Um, let's do another quick giveaway. Let's do another one of the coupons for 100% off, basically for a seat. So if the Game Textures guys can randomly select, make sure you're logged in, and we'll pick one person to get a seat. I'll be right back, guys. Give me just 1 second. All right. Hey, guys. Did let's see who got the seat. Did anybody get the seat yet? Or the coupon code? All right. Well, let's go ahead and hop into Unreal. So I'm gonna go ahead, save this, and we'll put it in that demo folder again. And let's close this up. And let's open up Unreal. All right, and just to speed up the process in Unreal, what I'm gonna, yay, congratulations. All right, so what I'm gonna do here to speed up the process in Unreal is I'm gonna go ahead and start with a shader that I've already kind of started to work on. It's not quite complete, but it's not coming in from scratch. Um, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop into this one. All right, so here it is. Unreal's gonna take a minute to load. Um, by the way, if you guys have not used a lot of the material functions in Unreal, I just started using them for this particular project. They are pretty powerful. It's pretty awesome. What? Are you guys talking about which one? My background? Oh, yes, my single shade of brown. Yeah. You know what? It's funny. I used to this is this was my very first texture in MS Paint. Um, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and load a level I worked on. Um, sorry, you guys are gonna catch my phone, my phone, my headset having turned off for a second there. Um, but I figured we'd start with a terrain that I already had. This was one that I demoed, right? So notice, and this is the reason I was kind of trying to not make the the texture map so detailed, because here, even though I like it, it's way too there's too much noise in it. But notice this is a cool thing, right? So at close up, this is our sand texture. We get this nice sand texture, and then at a distance, there's the what do you call it? The um, macro texture, right? So let's go ahead and let's pull in our height map first. So let's zoom out. Let's go ahead and let's delete everything here except for the uh, lights. There we go. Don't need that one. And the rest of these are all pretty standard. We'll go ahead and take off the fog for right now, just so we can see it a little bit better. And then let's pull in our height map. So I'll go to landscape, right? And let's import from file. And let's go ahead and pick the file. It's gonna throw me some errors. And let's go to world creator. Let's grab maps. And what we'll do is grab this height map, right? So there we go. If we zoom out, we'll see kind of let's speed this up. We'll see the shape of the terrain, right? Just a giant version of it. All right, okay, and so here's the terrain, and like I said, I'm not sure why we're getting um so much lumping. That's really strange. Um, I mean, I thought I exported it in 16-bit. I was pretty sure I exported it in 16-bit, but that doesn't look right. So I can't reopen it, I don't think. Let me try. Yeah, like I said, I thought it should have been in 16-bit, but it's not. But yeah, let me see if I open up World Creator if it'll look the same. It just can't be different. Otherwise, there's some other ways I can work around it. I can also just uh slightly blur it in um in Substance, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Uh oh, I know why. It's because I know why it did it. It's because I flipped it in it's because I flipped it in that software and then resaved it and it saved it non 16-bit. Okay. So I'll go ahead and hopefully it hasn't changed. Oh, but now that I think about it, even if it has, it doesn't matter because I did this in Designer. So all I have to do, right? So here, yeah, it has changed, right? Let's go ahead and let's go back. So for those of you that missed World Creator, right? We can come in and just kind of re-raise some of these sections. Just kind of give it a little bit of variety. Right? Just make a couple of tweaks here. All right, cool. So now we'll just hit export. And this time we do want it to be this data. We want it to be PNG 16-bit. And this time we do want to flip it on the y-axis, right? So we'll hit export. We'll go here to WC maps. We'll do height map. And then let's go ahead and re-export it. And this time we'll export the normals. We don't want to flip it this time. But we do want to, no, we have stuff set up already to invert the green channel. So we'll save it as a normal map. close this. And then let's go ahead and jump back into Designer. And then all we have to do is re-export it, right? So because it is Designer, it's awesome. It's all happening procedurally, right? So as soon as it updates, it'll update all of the maps as well, which is awesome. All right, cool. So now let's go ahead and re-export this. So we'll go up. Let's bump it up to 2K. There we go. And let's hit export. You guys are cracking me up about that wallpaper. Uh, Macro maps. Uh, um, yes, and actually we don't even need the height. We just need base color and normal. Right? Hey, happy birthday, Paul. All right, so now we're good. Do I want to save it? No, I don't want to save it. Yeah. Yes, apparently it's the color brown. So let's go ahead. Let's reopen this. Yep, there we go. Unreal's gonna take a little bit of time. So yeah, we should totally do this for April Fools. We should replace all of our textures with just a beige color. We could just call it beige everything, beige ground, beige wall. Uploaded 50 new beige textures. All right, let's let's get rid of this stuff. We'll wipe out these stones and let's turn off the fog real quick. And then let's import that height map again. Sorry, it is taking a little bit longer, guys. It seems like everybody's enjoying though. So uh, if you guys are all right, I'm all right. And this is our height map. And we'll say import. All right, cool. And now, hey, look at that. All right, 16-bit goodness. Right. So there we go. And it actually, I mean, if you really take a look at it, it doesn't even it's not bad even without a normal map. It's got a ton of detail as is, right? Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna rotate this light source for a second, just so I can update my come on now. Where are my gizmos? Oh, it's because I'm here on the landscape. All right, let's just lift it up, and I'm just gonna come on now. Just gonna rotate this a second, and I just want to get some the light to recalculate so I can see the scene a little bit better, right? And actually, in fact, I'm just gonna turn it to unlit for no, that doesn't help. All right, there we go, and that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and get these textures in. So I'm gonna go over to WP Landscape. Let's look at macro textures, and I'm just gonna wipe these, force delete them. And then let's go ahead and re-import our new macro textures, right? So we've got our base color and uh, normal. So let's pull them in. By the way, if we wanted to lessen the height values here, the difference in height values, we could have exported that adjusted height map, and it would be a lot more shallow. So, and then we'll open up this landscape. So this is actually a material function. One thing you'll notice about material functions is they don't have all of those limits that typical materials here have. But basically, I just have this make material attributes, and then I put a result, right? So there's a lot I'm sure that can be done here. I actually want to mess with it a little bit more, but it is pretty cool. All right, so let me grab macro textures, and I'm going to grab these two. And basically, I'm just going to replace what I had there from before. So um, here's one of them. Right? And then this one is for the normal. So I'll plug this in, and then I'll plug this through there. All right, that looks lovely. So yeah, what you'll see is it's changing right from this this micro texture to basically the macro one. Right? We'll just hit apply. Paul. All right, and then what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and apply it right to our material. So I'm gonna select the material. Just do a simple drag and drop. And something seems a little off here. There it is. It's updated. It's like, what's going on? Right, and so notice as we get closer, it turns into the sand, but at a distance, we get that nice macro texture, which still has, feels like it has too many color values still. So that's something that, on further like uh, testing and stuff, we could adjust. Also, you'll notice the ground as we get closer, we get these like little tessellation marks, and basically the tessellation marks we can fix pretty easily by just baking our lights. I don't know. That looks kind of weird to me. Not happy with that, but we're gonna move on. I mean, hopefully you guys are just you guys understand the workflow. You guys kind of understand what we're trying to achieve here, right? So what we're gonna do now is let's grab some different texture maps, right? So what we'll do is let's open up a web page and let's go to the game texture site, right? And then let's just grab some grounds. So if we hop over to materials, right, you'll notice we got some breaks, but here we've got a ton of ground. We just kind of updated the library with a bunch of new grounds. We've got some nice stuff for cards. So I think one of the next ones I do next streams, or maybe we could do one for Unity possibly. Um, World Creator's also built in with Unity, so um, so that's one thing that you can, it's native in it, so you can actually just work with the terrain natively in Unity. All right. Um, but yeah, let's grab a couple of these. So we have a sand. So why don't we just go ahead and type in sand? So we're basically kind of looking at what the we're kind of looking at what the um, uh, texture the maps we created are dictating. So let's grab a sand, let's grab a grass, and let's grab a cliff, right? And I'm really not happy with how that's that looks weird to me. I mean, here it looks okay, but weird to me here. But we'll see. It's fine now. I'll let it go. All right. Um, so let's go hop back over to game textures, right? And let's see. Let's find a good sand. This is the one we currently have. It's coarse, lumpy. It doesn't have a lot of large details um, on the uh, large low frequency details, which is cool. But I think I want one with a little bit more larger frequency details. So I may grab. I don't know if I want these riveted ones, but notice we got a ton of sand. Um, Rocky Beach. I think I like actually. I think I actually like this one, this chaotic sand. So which is actually I think one of the ones that were on in a world creator. So we'll go ahead, we'll sign in. Now, we do have a program called Injector that we have at Game Textures, which should make this process a lot faster. So basically, what will happen is you do. Oh, good, thanks. What will happen is you log into. It's a desktop app, so you log into the app, and as soon as you log into the app, you can download a texture, and it automatically downloads it into your project for you. So it is super cool. Who is doing the broadcast? We're GameTextures.com. So we're actually partnered up with World Creator, and so we thought it'd be fun to do basically some of our textures are included, but we're also working in full support for texture import into World Creator. So you can go hopefully. Oh, my name is Arvin. So I don't know. We do a lot of stuff. We each do a lot of stuff at Game Textures, but one of the things I do is I'll do broadcast streams. Um, all right, so here we go, Chaotic Sand. Let's download this substance, and we'll just hit download again. Is there a delay for getting message? Um, I'm not sure. What do you mean, Marvin? No Marvin, no M, just Arvin. All right, so we'll pop this open. But yeah, we're working with software called Injector that we've been building, and the goal is to be able to hook it into you any program that you're working with. So um, whether that's Unity, that's Unreal, that's World Creator. One of the things we definitely want you to be able to do is actually go browse the Game Texture Store using Injector and automatically shoot stuff into World Creator. All right, so let's go ahead and let's work with this chaotic sand. So we can make a little bit of tweaks here. Let's see. We want the dunes to be maybe less intense, right? We'll keep that at the same color. And let's say maybe let's just darken this color a little bit. And let's maybe this is the highlight. No, this is let's, that's cool. That's good. All right, let's bump this up to 1K. Cool. All right. And let's go ahead and export this out. So we'll say export as bitmap. What we're going to do is navigate over to that demo folder again, and this time we'll create a folder called micro textures, right? So this will be the ones that will show up when it's close up. Micro textures, or sorry, micro maps. All right. Select this folder, and this time we just want the base color. We want the normal, and we don't want height. We don't want roughness. We don't want specular. And sometimes we may want roughness, but for this one, I'm not going to mess with it. Just going to take a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and export those out. close them, close this, and let's go ahead and import those in. So top demo. Oh, WC micro maps. Let's grab this and let's go to. Let's just create a new one. We'll call this sand 2. All right. So now if we go back into our function, we can actually replace this with our new sand. And plug this into the UVs. Plug this into the lerp. And then we'll do the same with the normal. Plug this into the lerp. Like that. And let's hit apply. Save. Let's close this. Right, so now it's going to have to recompile. And I just remembered I forgot to actually export out the masks. So we'll need to export out the masks in a little bit. That's kind of the advantage too of working in World Creator instead of, this time we brought it into Designer. But had we just stayed in World Creator, the masks would have automatically been generated, right? So and we could have just gone straight from there into here. So here we've got, a nice chaotic sand that we're looking at here up close, and then at a distance we see the macro detail. It actually looks a lot better if we add a little bit of fog and just a little bit of blur, right? So there's that. I think I think I want to slightly um, uh, make these bigger. It's actually pretty good. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and now let's save this real quick. And I realized I have to export some masks out. So let's grab some masks out of Designer. So go, yes, save all. All right, and now, oh, without the macro map or without the micro, which one are you wanting me to remove? Without the macro? I can try. I can see if I get some time to take it off. And no, actually, I mean it won't. I'm gonna remove some stops here. It's bugging me. You know what? Let's just keep it kind of greenish. There we go. I'm gonna re-export this. Right? And I'm just gonna let this creep a little bit more because I want a little bit more solid cliffs is what it is. Yeah, that's it. Like that. I want something that's a little more solid. Right. So I'm gonna export these. and that should update the next time we're in World Creator. But also, I want to get these masks out, right? So what I want to do is get this initial histogram. That's actually a little bit better too. We'll solidify some of that color up top, right? So that way it's not quite so blended, right? So we get a solid grass, cliff, and sand, right? So we'll re-export it. I think I already did that. But let me go ahead and basically just get these masks out. And I don't know if you knew this, but one quick and dirty way to do it in Designer is actually just open this, like double click on the node and hit save, right? So we'll go to macro maps and we'll call this, we'll save it as a targa. In fact, let's blend it together on one map. So we'll do a RGB merge, RGBA merge, right? And what we're gonna do is we'll get this one to be red. We'll get the inverse of it to be green. So this will be the sand, this will be the grass, and this will be the cliff, right? And then we'll take out the, right? So there we go. Grass, cliff, or sorry, grass. Maybe we should flip these. There we go. That feels better. Grass, cliff, and then sand. Right? And maybe I think I want to dial this back a little bit. It's a good indicator to see how much blending is actually happening. A little bit isn't bad, but sometimes if we get too much, it ends up being ugly. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's export this texture out. Again, maybe some tweaks could be used here, but and then we'll just call this mask. Right? We'll make a targa. Call this mask. Oh, see you, Corodius. Have a good night, man. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll close this. We'll save it. All right, and then we'll go back to Epic. Stefan's going heading out. Yeah, it's way too late. Thanks, Stefan. Good night, man. Sorry, I think I missed you. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up this level. All right, and let's update the macro textures. Import. This should be more solid. Yeah, there we go. Still, still a little strange to me, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's grab the grass, or yeah, the grass texture and the cliff texture. So we'll open up the GameTextures.com window, and let's grab a nice grass. All right, so let's see here. If you guys see something that you guys are like, oh, I really want to see that one, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna try to pick one here. I think I'm gonna do this short grassy dirt. All right, so this is cool in that we can actually, um, kind of adjust the blending here, so we can lift up the dirt level. Oh, sorry, that's dirt gloss. Lift up the dirt level, right? And we can get more or less grass. So we'll just get a nice even balance here, right? And then we'll bump this up again to 1K. There we go. That's pretty sweet. So we'll go ahead and export this. And again, we don't want anything but the base color and normal map. We want that in the micro maps, and we'll hit export. Hit close. And then let's go ahead and let's grab a good cliff material. So let's type in cliff. Yeah, that's we try to get a lot of nice parameters that are exposed. This one looks really cool. Sharp crumbling cliff. Let's also look up rock. Sometimes we'll get some stuff in rock that we won't get in cliff. So, but this is pretty cool. I may just grab that one. Hmm. Yeah, I like this one. Let's grab this rough granite. Unless somebody has a particular one that they like. Bumpy igneous. Layered metamorphic. This is really cool too. Everybody good with this one? Rough granite. Seems logical. Right? Yeah, I mean, even if it's just small tweaks, um, even if it's just small tweaks, it is a big deal. So we try to put in some really good ones in there, but sometimes we try to put in some really good controls in there, right? But sometimes even small ones can go a long way. So let's go ahead just to see this a little bit better. We'll bump it up to 1K, um, and let's turn down some of the tone down just some of the visual noise for a second here. All right, let's go ahead. We'll export this as bitmaps. And then again, we just want the base color and the normal map. We'll hit export, hit close. And then we'll go ahead and pull those two in. All right, so we'll close that, close the game textures window. So, oh, probably. These would have been cool. So it would have been nice if we had a couple more blends we could have worked on, but man, that would have taken way too long. So maybe in another stream or something, sometime in the future. All right, so let's pop open this landscape and then let's import the other ones. So micro textures, we'll create a new folder. We'll call this grass. And then we'll create a new folder and we'll call it cliff. So let's hop over to micro maps. So cliff. Weird. Okay, that works too. All right, so we'll grab the cliffs. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I noticed that. Uh, let me. I noticed that it looked inverted. I mean, it should be right. It looks like white, dark. But let's try it. Let's just invert it. Adjustments. Uh, I'm scared to open up Photoshop, honestly. Um, I know I can, but if I open it, I'm scared I'm gonna like break this, like get my computer shut down. Uh, I'll try it. I'll try to open up Photoshop. Oh yeah, that's right. You can, can't you? Thank you. You can. All right, Photoshop, go away. I don't need you. No, no, no. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot there's just an option to do it in the texture. Let's see, flip screen channel, save, close, flip. It's weird. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, that looks better. It still looks a little weird at a distance, but yeah, close up that looks better. Grounds are always a little strange, honestly, because there's no literal up, right? It's you're in a different direction, right? So, but it is flipped. It is saved. Let's see, maybe it'll get a little bit better once I bake. So we'll take a look at it after bake. All right, let's go ahead and let's go back into grass. Or sorry, yeah, let's import the grass. All right, and then let's go ahead and we'll go to macros and let's import the masks. I mean, I know you guys obviously know that uh I am actually we're gonna finish this part and I think we're done. So we're gonna get some basic textures on it and I think we're done for the day. We'll probably be back in a couple of weeks though, doing maybe something else. People have been asking us a lot about texel density, um, and so we're thinking about doing a stream regarding texel density and how to get that all set up. Somebody asked about it again this week. So all right, let's go landscape. Yeah, it's still pretty early evening here, but I'll try to keep up as long as I can here. All right, so we've got these two. There's our macros. Um, and then let's go ahead and pull in our mask. All right, and so basically we'll need to lerp here, right? So we've got our normals. So let's grab this one. Let's grab our grass normal, right, and plug it into the same UV. And then let's grab our grass. And it's kind of a, I don't know, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple trick, but it's one that I do if I'm doing something like this on landscape where I have a ton of different materials. I try to put them in the same order, right? So that uh, texture sample and the uh, sorry, so that the grass and sand are stacked in the same place. That way, I don't end up mixing them around. So and the, and then I'll grab the cliff here, and I'll do the same, right? So this will be at the very bottom, and this will be at the very bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and this lerp is going to be the last one, these two, because these blend between micro and macro, and then we'll have another lerp before that that'll blend between the three textures. So I'll do we'll just do a simple one. We won't even do um, necessarily uh, a material blend, sorry, a landscape blend. We can just probably just, I think we can just get away with lerping them. So we'll lerp this one and this one, right? And then the alpha for it will be, it will be green because what we want is, let me check here real quick. So this one is saying that A is when we're close and B is when we're far. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see what happens. If not, we'll flip it. All right, and then we'll put this at A. All right, and then let's just hit apply. Let's just test this to see if we plug these into the right places. Oh, yeah, that would be kind of cool actually. If you have one that's automatic, then I mean you could put it possibly right here instead of the lerp, right? Because this is what's happening is we're blending here and then we're doing the macro at the end. Oh, nope. It looks like we'll have to do it. Yeah, because it's blending it right here. It looks like we'll actually have to do a material blend, a landscape material. We have to do a landscape layer blend. I don't understand why it's a single. That shouldn't be right. Okay, I'm doing something wrong here. If somebody figures can see what I'm doing wrong here, please let me know. But I'm I'm doing something wrong here because I know there's some sort of blend for it, but I'm not finding it. I thought it was layer blend. Maybe this one. Let's try this. Layer blend goes straight into the output. Yeah, there is a, I know there's a blending one. Okay. All right, I think let's see. See, I'm gonna try one more here in a second, but we may need to finish this up next week. Let me see. Or maybe a tutorial next week. Let me see here. Oh, that's right. Okay, I got it. All right, so let's try this real quick. Maybe I do. Maybe not. That's right. We add one more here. There we go. So this one we'll call it let's call this grass. We'll call this one sand, right? And then instead of a weight blend, we'll do an alpha blend or yeah, there we go. And then the layer sand, we'll do the same thing. That stays a weight blend. All right, so we'll do grass. We may need to do a more in-depth one next week anyway, guys. But let's go ahead and for the height sand, we'll plug in the red channel. All right, let's hit apply. Yeah, it is. The autosave is. Let's see if we. Okay, so it looks like no, that is not it. Looks like the closer I get, just turns to black slowly. So that's not a that's not a good thing. All right, so I'll have to we'll have to probably finish this up next week. Let's do a quick bake, and while it's baking, I think we're gonna give away our last um, code. So our last coupon code, which is 100% off the professional version. So that'll be really cool. So let's just take a look at it here. You know, it looks pretty good at a distance. I like that. Nice distance. Let's go ahead and build. And like I said, while it's building, we'll we'll be raffling out the last pro version. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we're somebody next week is wanting to or somebody has been asking on our Discord. By the way, if you guys want to get us on Discord, if you want to join our Discord channel, it's been a lot of fun. Uh, just hop over. I'm worried to open my Discord. I think I'm gonna crash the build. But hop on over to GameTextures.com and just ping us on. We have intercom there. We have a little chat box, and just say, hey, can I join the Discord channel? And we'll send you guys a little link. You can hop on Discord, and it's a lot of fun. We get to talk. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, talk shop a little bit. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't do a .com links are blocked until we verify it. We actually just need to verify it. You should use dynamic. Man, yeah, I wish dynamic lighting was viable now. It Hey, nice, Paul. Yeah, I wish that dynamic lighting was viable now. I Oh cool. You know what? We were thinking about actually doing some packs for some pack giveaways for this one. We may do it soon or something. I don't know. We gotta jump around, but we were thinking about having it all kind of bundled in little packages. Maybe when we maybe we'll do another one with World Creator. Um, yeah, I know, but the look is just different. It doesn't look as good as it does baked, in my opinion. The beige pack, yeah, that would be hilarious. We should do that. We should totally do that. Hey, thanks. Glad you're there, Corodius. Yeah, we should do something like that. Like maybe 1 month or something. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe a couple of oh, who is it? Let's see. The tension is killing me. Hey, Steven. Awesome. Congrats, man. Yeah, you guys it's still, as far as World Creator goes, it's still 30% off right now. So, hop on over. I think the full release happens next week. Um, so over to World Creator. Also, I mean, obviously, hop over to GameTextures.com, pick up a month or two. We'd love to see you guys, obviously hanging out with us on Discord. But also, I mean, it'd be cool. Tell us what you think about the textures. Hope it's helpful to you. We've got a bunch of stuff like not just grounds. We've got a good set of grounds, also some foliage. Recently, we just pushed those out, and I think next week we're pushing out some roofs. So, injector should still work even if your subscription stops. I don't see why it wouldn't, because as long as you can download our textures, which you can continue to download our textures if uh even if your subscription's up. So so it should work. All right, cool. And here it is with the lit. But again, like I said, that I gotta fix that texture. But yeah, here it is. Not bad, not bad at all. Cool. All right, guys. About to hop out of here. All I wish a bunch of mid. Yeah, we've got, as far as the roofs go, we've got wood. I think Matt, are you here? Are we doing thatch? I know we were talking about possibly doing some thatch roofs. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, actually, yeah, hit us up on Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here, guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you hanging out. We'll see you guys on Discord and or on the Game Texture site. I was not happy to find my. Hey, thanks a ton. I appreciate it. Cool, cool. Thanks. Thanks, guys. All right. Good night, guys.